Good morning. It's 11 a.m., almost actually 11:41 a.m., and we're getting close to noon. And I just wanted to do a really quick update on what we're seeing right now. We're seeing precipitation move into the coast. Notice our temperatures range from the mid 30s to the upper 30s throughout the entire Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Also, notice we're starting to see a mix of rain and snow throughout the entire region. Now, some of these locations are reporting just snow, but the from what I'm getting from a lot of followers on Twitter and also observations, is that this snow is having a very difficult time actually accumulating on any of the surfaces. It's because it's, well, quite frankly, in the mid to upper 30s, where, this time of year it's very difficult for any type of accumulation to develop. Notice winds are starting to increase from the northeast, anywhere from 10 to 25 miles per hour along the coast, around 10 to 15 miles per hour further inland. And of course, eastern Pennsylvania remains very dry. Notice the dew points once again in the lower 20s. I'm expecting precipitation to build back into eastern Pennsylvania as we move on through the evening hours. Notice our low pressure system is still well to the south and east of New Jersey, roughly about 250 miles. But notice the pressure falls are due north and a little bit northwest of that center, indicative of the phasing starting to take hold and pull our low pressure system a little bit closer to the coast. So we're going to start to see this low pressure system move more north and north-northwest over the next couple of hours. Taking a look at the water vapor satellite picture, notice very interesting developments starting to happen. This low pressure system and disturbance is starting to phase with this low pressure system. And notice over the last few frames, the progression of our upper level low has started to slow. Instead of moving northeast, it's moving a little bit more north, and it will start to jog a little bit more to the northwest. Notice our upper level winds are diverging. That's producing increasing lifting throughout the entire New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area. And also notice this right here. This is the development of our comma head. And when we take a look at the infrared satellite picture, you can see the lighter cloud tops really starting to blow up here. This is indicative of basically what's called backbuilding in the precipitation shield and textbook for a nor'easter development. When you start to see this develop, this area basically from the Delmarva Peninsula on north and west towards Maryland and back towards central Pennsylvania will set up the comma head structure. And that's where we're going to see very heavy precipitation begin to develop and start to shift further to the west over much of eastern Pennsylvania and western New Jersey as we move on through the afternoon hours. We could also see that on the radar very clearly, very heavy precipitation over southern New Jersey. And we're starting to see that precipitation start to back build over here and especially down here. It's going to basically what you're going to see through the afternoon is this precipitation start to fan out in coverage. Also, we have pockets of heavier precipitation. This is due to some of this precipitation mixing with a little bit of sleet and some snow. That's what's called bright banding, but still the precipitation is pretty heavy at times. We're even seeing some snow right along the New Jersey coast. So we have pretty much a little bit of a mix of everything. The first high tide is on the way, and we're starting to see those tides increase, unfortunately, and the waters start to rise along the coast. Again, I'm expecting moderate flooding anywhere from 1 to 3 feet over most locations, 3 to 5 in some of your bays, especially over Monmouth and Ocean counties and portions of the Battery in New York, mostly because of the damage done by Sandy previously. Basically, there's nothing really to stop the water from rising along the coast. Reiterating once again, here is our forecast. Again, along the immediate coast, we're looking at 1 to 2 inches of rain, a little bit of snow mixed in here and there, but no accumulation. A little bit further to the west, looking for a trace to 2 inches of snow, especially just to the north and west of New York City. New York City might see a trace of snow out of this, but in Central Park. But I think for the most part, you're dealing with wet roads there. Same thing for coastal Connecticut down through central New Jersey. A little bit further west, you're looking at 1 to 4 inches of snow, especially north and west of New York City and down through the much of the metropolitan area of Philadelphia. And then we have that one swath of potentially 3 to 6 inches of snow. Right now, I really like the idea of staying around 3 inches rather than 6 inches, but we're going to have to keep an eye on the banding developing for this afternoon and especially for the evening and overnight hours. Right now, the timing of the storm looks like the worst conditions are going to be later this evening, let's say around 5 p.m., continuing on through the overnight hours. This storm will be exiting by tomorrow morning. So for your rush hour for this evening, it's going to be a bit of a mess. But for the rush hour tomorrow, conditions will be improving, and you'll see much better weather conditions by tomorrow afternoon, with temperatures well above freezing in the 40s, possibly pushing into the lower 50s, melting all this snow very quickly. Again, the one problem with the accumulation idea right now is that the roads and all the surfaces are very warm, and so we're not seeing any accumulation just yet. But we have to get through the evening hours before we can call this a bust here. So again, look more towards the lower end of the forecast scales here, 1 inch, 3 inch. If you get under a very heavy band this evening with temperatures around freezing, you'll definitely be able to push into those higher snowfall totals of 1 to 4 and 3 to 6. Of course, further to the west over eastern Pennsylvania, you're looking at more of a scattered snow shower event. You're missing out on most of this here. I really don't expect much in the way of snowfall, a trace of 2 inches. Really, this storm is for locations further to the east. That is the latest update from NYNJPA Weather. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and NYNJPA Weather on Twitter and Facebook. This is a Storm Surge LLC